Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Apple's Mac Mini with the M1 chip. First, let's start off by unboxing it. Before we get to the Mac Mini, let's take a look at what's inside the box. We got some typical Designed by Apple in California paperwork, which includes user manual, warranty info, and one Big Apple sticker. Under the paperwork, there's the standard power cable, and that's it. Back to the Mac Mini. The exterior design of the Mac Mini pretty much remains the same as the previous gen Intel model, aside from the fact that it currently only comes in silver. On the back, let's peel off the protective cover to reveal the ports. So when it comes to ports, it's the same as the previous gen as well, other than the fact that we now have two fewer USB-C/USB 4 ports. Despite these little to no changes, I think the Mac Mini still remains very iconic with its square shape and the rounded corners. When it comes to the Mac Mini, it has always been one of Apple's more flexible desktop computer. Personally, I've never really paid attention to the Mac Minis until they announced the refresh with Apple Silicon in late 2020, along with the M1 MacBook Air and the 13-inch Pro. The M1 chip is quite important as it's the first Apple-designed system on a chip, also known as the SoC. This is Apple's first step of transitioning away from being Intel chip based. The M1 chip integrates a few components, which includes the CPU, GPU, RAM, neural engine, and etc. If you've seen any other videos on YouTube relating to the Apple's M1 products, then you'll know the M1s are quite powerful and easily destroy some high-end machines out there. With a starting price of $699, it's easily one of the best bang for your buck out there considering its performance and capabilities. You might ask, why did I decide to buy this Mac Mini? Here's why. My previous work setup consists of me using my 2018 MacBook Pro and a 3rd gen iPad Air with Apple Pencil. As my MacBook ages, it's becoming slower and slower as I give it more and more performance intensive tasks. Because of how budget friendly the new Mac Mini is, that's why I've decided to buy one as well. The spec I've decided to go for is the one with 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU with 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD. The idea behind this spec is pretty simple. Apple currently only offers one CPU and GPU configuration. 16 gigs of RAM is needed for the work I do, and they do not offer more than 16 gigs right now. 256 gigs of SSD since Apple charges a premium for them. Even though they're blazing fast, I think it's still more logical to save and buy portable SSDs, which are way cheaper and makes more sense as I will often switch between my Mac Mini and my MacBook. To help you make a decision on whether you should buy the M1 Mac Mini, here's a list of pros and cons. The Mac Mini with the M1 chip does have incredible performance, and most apps run very well on the M1 chip at this point, as developers had quite a bit of time from mid-2020 to optimize their apps for Apple Silicon. It is also a great price for what it's worth. In 2021, Apple also made a small upgrade, where now it has 10 GB Ethernet rather than the 1 gig. When it comes to a few downsides, it does come with a fewer USB 4 ports than the previous gen. The highest RAM option is only 16 GB at the moment, and you're no longer able to do aftermarket upgrades. And another minor con is that it only supports 2 displays, with one used through the HDMI while the other through the USB 4. In conclusion, the Mac Mini with the M1 chip is an incredible machine. And if you're looking to upgrade, I think you should. The performance is more than enough for most users, and the value this machine brings, considering its price tag, is definitely worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this, and I hope to see you guys again soon.